Hey, you, what's going on? It's Joey. Hey! My name is Rob. Welcome to Comics The Gathering. I'm with Jesse, and Jesse is going to teach me how to play
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hey, Yug! Hey, oh, hey, you!
So, Rob is a traditional grumpy Magic player. He's never played Yu-Gi-Oh! He knows, like, the show a little bit.
Hey!
And
Exodia! Exodia! I know that the kid goes through puberty, but Exodia! And then he's just like, hey, Exodia! And then, puberty, and then...
Actually, Exodia is only once.
Exodia! That's
God.
what I know. That's what I know. I know that he's a prepubescent boy, and then all of a sudden he's like, Exodia!
No, he actually says the name of the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. Anyhow.
Ah!
Oh God, I have a headache. This is wonderful. So yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
I'm gonna strangle him, guys. I'm gonna actually strangle him.
Ah!
When the camera cuts suddenly, it's because I'm kicking the shit out of him.
I'll have a black eye, and I'll be like, Exodia! Exodia!
Oh no. I'm just gonna crush your windpipe.
Hey, you.
Okay, so how this is gonna work is I literally have one of every card type in the game, and I'm gonna go over them with Rob and kind of relate them to him in Magic terms, so he'll understand them. But also get
Banding?
no banding.
Oh.
But also get Rob's, perspective on them. I grew up with the game. I actually played this. This was the second TCG I played as a 90s kid. Obviously, the first one was Pokemon. Then I moved to Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I moved to Magic. And I went back and forth with Magic for a long time. Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! For a long time.
And then you went to 3-card Monty in the aisle behind the palace.
No, I've never scammed anyone with 3-card Monty, although it's really easy.
Hey!
You just gotta know how to double lift, and you're fine.
I don't even need Tyler Reeves? Ooh. You're more affordable than him. You're not a local celebrity yet.
No, we're getting there, though.
Alright.
Internet celebrity, here we come. So the first thing is Vanilla Creature. So these are literally, they just have flavor text, they have no abilities. They're just a creature with, Chamberlain of the Six Samurai! Why are you showing them? I'm gonna just put up the card on screen.
Ah! Okay.
Okay. So they each have an attack value and a defense value.
Okay.
Which is like power and toughness, except they actually require a position for that value to be part of the game. So, attack position is literally the card is straight up, and then defense position, the card is actually sideways.
Okay.
So, there's that.
These also seem smaller than Magic cards.
They are. Japanese cards are inherently smaller, and also the cardstock quality is way worse. I can't say that for all Japanese games, but definitely Yu-Gi-Oh! Compared to Magic.
It's like little baby cards for little baby hands.
Well...
A tall guy over there was like 5'3", I get it, but come on. Oh, man. All right.
Aren't you like 5'8"?
So I'm saying, I'm a skyscraper over there. I draw so much ass in Japan.
I think that's just because they've never seen your skin type before. They're like, what is he?
Exactly. They wouldn't know what to do with me. This is great. I'm moving to Japan. Let's just do the show from there from now on. Fuck Vegas.
I mean, I would love to, but,
yeah.
Neither of us speak the language.
No, arigato. Ohayo.
Yeah, I don't think you're not going to be able to get through a daily conversation.
Arigato. Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hold on 1 second, guys. So, Vanilla Creature. Now, a couple things that are different from Magic is Magic has colors. But here we actually have attributes. My dog decides to lose her mind at this exact moment. So each attribute is up in the corner. These are earth, wind, water, fire, light, dark, and there is a rare category that is divine.
So Earth, Wind, and Fire plays a part of this game.
Oh, God. You know, like, only people over 35 are going to get that reference.
Do you remember?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In September. Never was a cloudy day.
Oh, guys.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing till September.
Are you done? Is it out of your system?
Hold on. Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay.
And
Continue.
then also, the cards have a type, just like in Magic, where they have, warrior.
And trap cards.
Well, those are a separate thing.
Okay.
But I mean like warrior, spellcaster, beast warrior, wing beast, sea serpent, dragon, etc., etc.
Merfolk.
No.
Oh. Minotaur.
No.
Knight.
Knight would be under warrior. Minotaur would be under beast warrior. They're more broad, encompassing, instead of very specific. Like Magic has
Slivers. Well.
Slivers.
Okay. No giant spiders.
There are giant spiders. They're under insect.
Ah. Okay.
So yes.
So then I could block a Sarah Angel.
No.
Oh. Say Sarah Angel's more powerful.
Well, Sarah Angel hits for 4, and a spider might have a couple hundred.
Oh. Well, I'll need more Sarah Angels. Continue.
Okay, so then we have effect monsters, which come in a lot like the monsters that have abilities in Magic. The abilities vary and do a wide variety of things, and Yu-Gi-Oh is a very archetypal driven thing. So like the cards you're viewing right now are 6 samurais, so they play together with each other really well, but they're harder to play with other archetypes.
Okay.
So, for example, kind of similar in Magic is like when you're playing Limited, let's say you're playing Throne of Eldraine Limited and you're drafting food. Okay? You're drafting the food deck, so you're looking for cards that synergize with this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in Yu-Gi-Oh, they just spell it out for you. Instead of having to read the thing and be like, okay, this interacts with food, it's just like, it's a name, like 6 Samurai, or Gravekeepers, or, Sacred Beasts, or Shaddolls.
So the title serves as more functional.
Yes, and there are things that reference that, like, if you control another 6 Samurai monster, you can do X. So...
Alright, so far so good.
And then also they have levels. And the levels are relevant for several things, different summoning mechanics. The base thing is every turn you get a normal summon, which can be done with a level 4 or lower monster, just you can play it onto the field. And then if it's level 5 or 6, you have to tribute a monster to normal summon it. And then if it's level 7 or higher, you need to tribute 2 monsters to normal summon it. So because there's no mana in this game, monsters are also kind of your resource. Okay?
Okay.
So instead of going over into the rest of the... well, we're going to do one more monster type, because this one does play in the main deck. And that is the hybrid one. It's called a Pendulum monster. It is a monster and a spell at the same time. So it has 2 text boxes on it, and depending on how you play it onto the field, it does different things. Now what's interesting is this one's a normal monster, so its actual monster text box is just flavor text. It doesn't do anything. But when you play it in the Pendulum Zone as a spell, you get an ability in the Pendulum Zone. Now...
So that doesn't mean this card's rare.
No, that's actually a common.
Really?
So rarity in Yu-Gi-Oh is determined by how shiny the card is. There's different foiling techniques. And
So the Secret Six Samurai.
Kazan is secret rare. It's the one of the highest rarities there can be. However, this one in particular, again, because of the pack it came out of, they only printed the cards in super rare and secret rare. So your common slot was like 5 supers, and then you got 1 secret. So the rarities are there, but they play around with them. They're not as consistent as Magic. There's also a large reprint policy. Cards aren't allowed to stay expensive for long. Unlike Magic, who denies a secondary market, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very much aware of it, and if the card has been out for a long enough time that it's not really at a point where they're making money off the booster packs the card comes in, they're going to put it in another product as a reprint to sell that product.
So they don't mind devaluing a card so long as it keeps the gameplay flowing.
Yes.
Whereas Magic will slaughter something off altogether, let it rot off like a dead limb. And if it wasn't for Commander, there'd be really no use for some of these classic cards. Whereas this game is like, we're going to keep recycling. It keeps the game fresh and it makes it affordable.
Yes, yeah. The highest I've ever seen cards get in Yu-Gi-Oh! That weren't prize cards you could only get by winning events. I think with the ceiling was at $150, which, I'm talking to play the game competitively. Obviously, there's collector cards that get into the thousands like Magic, but those cards are a lot more rare or old, etc., etc. Something that is an equivalent age would be like the Dark Duel Stories Blue Eyes. That was in the Game Boy game Dark Duel Stories. Those PSA 10 are like $500, whereas a Lotus PSA 9.5, 10, in that range is, hundreds of thousands at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
The price never gets to the level that,
Gotcha. So where are we going from here?
The next thing we include in the main deck are spells, of which there are 5 different types of spell cards. So you have a normal spell, and you can think of these, there is a...
Raigeki.
Yes, there is like a spell speed to this game. And they have spell speed 1, 2, and 3. And there's only one thing that exists in 3, so we'll get to that in a minute. Everything is pretty much played at sorcery speed, except for a few card types. Spell speed 1 is normal spells like this, where you just activate them, and if your opponent doesn't have a response, you just do what's on the card.
Okay.
And again, because there's no real cost to this game, they add in things to give cards costs, like paying life, or discarding cards, or tributing
What's
monsters.
your life total?
You start with 8,000. However, there are...
Super Commander.
Well, not really,
It's
because...
been hour 72. I used a Felden's cane.
You see, like, Kizan, his attack value is 1,900.
Right.
So...
Exactly, that's already a fourth of your health total right there.
Basically. So, it's actually a much faster game than Magic. Usually, I've seen people being able to create board states in this game where it's over on their first turn. Not because, they can attack on the first turn and kill you, but they can create, these super powerful monsters that can negate the things you do, and that you have to push through them, that by the time you get through all their negates, you don't really have anything left to play with.
Okay, so me on a first date. There's things that are blocking me, I have nothing left to play with, and it's over quickly.
Oh god, that was great.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm gonna die. So a couple other things that are spell speed 1 are
Well, if I've gone to the gym, I can do speed 2.
Jesus Christ. We have equip spells, and those function exactly how you think they do. They're like equipment. So you target a creature, and it attaches to that creature. The trade-off is except for a few things in Magic, You can also equip things to your opponent's monsters. So there are equipped spells that end up acting more like enchantments as well and do negative things.
Like an aura, when you want to block a creature from attacking, you give it -2/-2 in magic.
Yeah, so you can do things like that. Next we have continuous spells. They're indicated again by there's little symbols up in the corner that indicate which spell type it is. So this one...
That symbol in the corner is Japanese text.
No, the one your thumb's over. The one that is a little infinite symbol means continuous.
Oh.
I know.
Probably what that means in Japanese too.
No, it means spell.
Oh. I'm just saying you should be more multicultural. It's called kanji.
Yes, I know.
Arigato.
Jesus Christ. Anyhow, gonna keep it together here.
You're doing great.
Oh, God, I deserve a fucking medal. So, these, you play them, and then they stay out on the battlefield. Like a regular enchantment in Magic.
Okay.
So, some of them have triggered abilities, some of them, do something once, and then there's a static thing, like they might pump your creatures, etc., etc.
Okay.
Field spells.
Field spells, alright.
So, we don't have land, we have field spells. Field spells are the world you're fighting in. So, they create, they're an additional effect. Sometimes the original ones were just, boosts to certain types of creatures or certain attributed creatures. Now they've gotten a lot more complex with them. They do things. They draw cards. They search creatures. They do all sorts of different mechanics. And it's really become like a utility slot for Konami to play around with and give, decks something to use that gets them ahead.
And what do they do?
You
said they draw cards and they take creatures?
They do all sorts of things. They're all very different. They're actually becoming very similar to how continuous spells are, but they just have their own specific zone on the board. Because unlike Magic, there is a limited board. You have 5 monster zones, you have 5 spell and trap zones, you have the field zone, the extra deck, the deck, and the graveyard.
So it's basically a type of spell with limited autonomy that can manipulate creatures.
It manipulates creatures, it can manipulate spells, it can manipulate your deck, depending on what deck you're playing and
So this is the ice of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Ice?
Immigration.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's dark. I mean, you're not wrong, but it's dark.
Talk about a trap card.
After one more spell card, and then we will. The final one is, these are quick play spells. They have a little lightning bolt symbol. So they do things like a normal spell, but faster. They're spell speed too. So you can activate them in response to things. You can activate them, when your opponent declares an attack, whenever your opponent does anything, and they're actually the same spell speed as a normal trap card. So they still count as a spell, but you can set them face down, and then on your opponent's turn, flip them over and use them. Which brings us to traps, unless you had a witty remark.
No, we'll see where you take this.
Okay. So, normal traps function the same way, but traps can be played at a faster speed. They're inherently starting at spell speed 2, and then the final one we'll get to is counter traps. So those goes up to spell speed 3. The trade-off is, though, you have to set up traps. Traps don't just happen. So you got to play them face down on your turn, and then on your opponent's turn, as soon as you hit their draw phase, they're live. You can use them in response to certain things. So, and again, they have various uses. This one in particular brings back creatures from the graveyard. There are ones that destroy creatures when they're summoned. And again, they just feel a lot of niche roles. Oh, your opponent attacked? Mirror Force. Destroy all their attack position monsters. Your opponent summoned a monster with 1500 or more attack, bottomless trap hole. Destroy that monster and then banish it. So, there is a lot of different utility. The thing is, though, is as the game keeps speeding up, the trap cards have to become insanely powerful.
Okay.
Because the game keeps getting faster. And traditional trap cards that function in this way are just obsolete. They have to keep making them more and more powerful to make them worthwhile.
Okay.
So there's a lot of power creep in this game. Because unlike Magic, who has different formats that gates the history of the game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is live from the beginning till now.
That is cool. That is cool. Because Magic has so many cards that just become dust in your back pocket. And that was the one thing. It's like...
Unless you want to play Vintage.
And you play, and then you're limited as to what you can do instead of making super decks and unlimited combos. This is very fluent, and it bridges age groups too, I would imagine.
No. I've seen people at tournaments at the age range of 55 to 8.
You hear that, Mom? Your 8-year-old is going to be playing with a 55-year-old, but don't worry. There'll be other 8-year-olds playing with other 55-year-olds. And hopefully, we'll be at a local card store. But if not, call the police. It could be Mambla.
Oh, God.
Just saying.
Well, to be fair, most of the people I've met that play the game that are older their kids also play. So, they just...
That's just the lore. That's just the front.
Jesus.
It's okay.
But hey, there's no hints of Catholicism in this game, okay?
Oh, whoa.
I had to take one jab at you.
Oh my God. I was taking multiple jabs.
Did I just trigger your PTSD? Were you an altar boy?
Father. I was good enough, Father. Why do you always take Mikey ahead of me? What goes on in there? Mom, the priest doesn't smile at me the way he does at the other boys. Yeah, I got the better end of that stick.
Literally. So we're gonna move on now that Rob's gone to his.
The priest confesses to me.
So these are continuous traps. So they are able to be activated at spell speed 2. Think an enchantment with flash.
Okay.
So they have a continuous effect that's applied to the field. Some of them, are triggered. Some of them are just always on, like, boosting attack and stuff. But...
Triggered, like saying to a boomer you hate Trump?
That's, okay, boomer.
Hey!
That's actually triggering them more right now. Because to boomers, okay, boomer is the equivalent of saying the N-word.
Good God.
I know, right?
Holy crap. Hold on. Jesus.
Yeah. My favorite thing is this is the generation that has called us all snowflakes for years and telling us we need to toughen up and grow thicker skin. And the minute we give them a snappy retort like, okay, boomer, they're like, this is literally a hate crime.
Good God. All right. Okay, boomer. All right, so this is the instant of the instant. So to me, the way you're describing this is almost like going back in time to Magic where they had interrupt, where you had a stack of events that were going on and you were interrupting the flow.
Yeah, similar to the stack, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has what is called the chain. And you add links to the chain.
Okay.
And then just like the stack, the chain resolves backwards.
Okay.
So
next.
Actually, I'm gonna small tangent here. The Kazuki Takahashi, the original creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, was actually a huge Magic the Gathering fan.
Ah.
So he borrowed heavily from the ideas when he made the original game, but it wasn't, heavily fleshed out. He never meant for it to become what the entire focus of the series was about. It was supposed to be a one-off issue on card games the original name of the card game in the original manga was Magic and Wizards.
I remember something about this, and then it was too synonymous and too similar to Magic the Gathering.
And they moved it to Duel Monsters, and that's actually what it's called in the show. So when you're watching the show, they refer to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game as Duel Monsters.
Not to be confused with the poor kids' Pokemon Digimonsters. You knew if you were playing fucking Digimon, you were poor. I don't want to hear this fucking revisionist shit that it's another section of Pokemon or God knows what. You were the poor kid. You were staying up way too late on Saturday watching the crap on Fox when you should have been outside playing. You were poor. You know it. The game was always $10 less on Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always had Pokemon. I was never a Digimon fan.
Because you had standards.
More importantly...
And your mom loved you.
I love that in the original Pokemon, they edit out all the guns. Because there's actually a significant amount of guns in the original Pokemon.
Pokemons get titties!
And then...
Jesse, James, he gets titties!
So there's all this heavy censorship. And then, you know, Nintendo's like, oh, we can't show a gun to American kids, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, in Digimon, there's a Digimon that literally is just a gun wearing a cowboy hat.
Well, let's go back in time to freaking the Autobots and Decepticons, and the main villain is a gun.
Yeah.
Megatron turned into a gun. Then they made him a tank. Then they made him a dinosaur, like a T-Rex.
Well, there was also one time he turned into a cassette tape. But kids don't know what those are.
No, that wasn't him. That was I forget which one that was. But yeah, he was a gun, because then Galvatron would take him and shoot him.
So wait, what was the ammo? Was it his dick?
He was shooting digital ropes. He was just shooting...
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like robot dick bullets.
Oh, it was more like, I have to charge up, stroke my chamber, and I shall release all over
so
Prime.
Special beam cannon.
Yes. Yeah, oh yeah.
Never mind, Namekians don't have genitals.
Yeah, that's why he was so frustrated.
Hey, that's also probably why he was a great dad.
Oh, man. God damn it, Goku. Why the fuck do I have to be the midwife? You fucking broke son of a bitch.
And I just love the fact that Goku has 2 kids and doesn't know what kissing is. So...
Child Services took them away again. Thank God I could fly, you piece of shit.
Okay, back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Before we get derailed on a tangent here. So then we have counter traps.
Counter traps.
These are the fastest spell speed in the game. Once you activate a counter trap, you cannot respond to it with anything other than another counter trap.
So a counter trap like, the baby daddy comes back from prison to raise the kid?
Is that what you were hoping for in your life?
Continue.
Hey, we cut that one short.
No.
So those are all the different kind of cards you can put in your main deck.
Okay.
But then Yu-Gi-Oh! Has this weird thing called an extra deck. And
like a sideboard?
No, because they also have a sideboard.
Hey.
So the extra deck is a 15-card deck of specific types of monsters that you can summon from using cards on your side of the field.
Okay.
So the first type that came out, and this came out when the game started. Oh shit, we didn't talk about rituals. I forgot they existed. Rituals are a type of monster that exist in the main deck and require a spell card to summon them. So there is a ritual spell and a ritual monster. And you need to have both. And then you activate the ritual spell, and then you have to tribute monsters from the field or in your hand whose levels are equal to or greater than the level of the monster.
Yo, this is why I'm sitting here with you, because I didn't pass high school math. So what?
Yeah. Visual aid on screen now.
Yeah, it's gonna be that meme with that old chick with all the fucking math going on behind her head. Fuck.
Yeah.
Solve for X.
So there was that. And then the other thing that came out with the original game is fusions. Kind of the same concept as...
Yeah.
The original ones, you needed a spell card called Polymerization, and the 2 listed monsters that fused into that specific monster. It was very complicated. Over time, they were like, wow, this is too hard, let's change this.
What do they have now? Circle Jerk and 69?
No, but that can be in turn 1 hand of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hey, you! Look what I did!
Yeah, you just make your board, and if your opponent can't beat it, then you win. That's how modern...
Oh, Yug! I gotta save my sister over here, so help me rub one out.
So, fusions are purple. They're very similar to regular monsters. They can be normal or effect monsters. They have levels. Everything else is normal. But there's 2 different types of fusing, and they're not distinguished by any card color. There's the ones that require a fusion spell, polymerization, or they've made different kinds over the course of the game. And then there's also contact fuses, which just require you to do something with having the correct monsters. So if you have the monsters, you sometimes contact fuse by shuffling them back into the deck. Sometimes you just banish them and they go to the exile. So different things like that.
Okay.
Then they came out with synchros, which are white cards, and synchros are a little bit more complicated. You need to have a monster that has a tuner type, and then you have a non-tuner. Now they have more specific ones than that, but the general idea is, okay, you take a tuner and a non-tuner, you declare you're doing a synchro summon, you add their levels together, and that's the level of the synchro summon you can do. So if you have a level 2 tuner and a level 3 non-tuner, you can make a level 5 synchro.
Okay, then you add in a VTech, a turbo kit, you get some good axles on it, slam it, alright, put in a catback exhaust system.
Is synchro a type of Honda?
Airbags on suspension, man, airbags, because we got a lot of potholes and speed bumps out here in Vegas. I like a B16A2 engine, 167 horsepower. B18C would be the step up. 180 unless you go into your K24 engine, which is your newer IV Tech stuff. I know that could easily drop over 200 horses. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Oh, different show?
Yeah.
Oh. It's pretty cool, though, right?
I feel like you just made all that up. Like
No, actually.
Oh, God. Yeah, no. I can do mechanic stuff by following YouTube tutorials.
No, I actually work on my own cars. I do have a 94 Civic with an old SI V16A Gen 2 engine from Japan with 24,000 original miles, right side drive with ignition starter cables and some parts brought over from a Celica.
Are you done masturbating?
No, dry balls on that a long time ago. The heat wiped out the engine. Had to resurface the head and the block. Not fun.
Okay. So are you done now?
Yesterday was SEMA.
Yesterday? What does semen have to do with this?
Not semen. SEMA. Although when I got to SEMA, there was a lot of semen released. Those cars were awesome.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
I always enjoy myself.
Okay, moving on.
And moving down.
No. Anyhow. So, synchros, they're a thing. This was actually when when this summoning mechanic started off, was actually when I started to take this game very seriously, and I played competitively during that time. And I would play competitively for 5 years.
Because of the semen synchro.
I mean, they are white cards, so...
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Also, during my competitive time, we got the next mechanic, which is Xyz, which is denoted by XYZ, because that's how you pronounce that. Xyz.
Sounds like one of those freaking hard-on pills. With Xyz, you can get full results.
No, that's Extends.
Satisfaction guaranteed. Now let's talk to Ron Jeremy about Xyz.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So these are, again, they're trying to do something, similar to Synchro, but, it was a new show. They needed a new gimmick. Because that's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Works, is unlike Magic, who's like, okay, let's design cards and put thought into this. They're like, hey, we're making a new anime. We need a new gimmick for it. What's the gimmick?
The new gimmick is you can play harder and last longer. Guaranteed.
So the idea here was that you'd have two monsters of the same level, you'd stack them on top of each other, and then you'd make this. Because if you notice, this has level stars. These are inverted and on the opposite side, and that's because it's a rank.
Inverted and on the other side. It sounds like a rusty trombone.
I hope this is... I'm not going to get the video taken down. YouTube just changed their fucking content restrictions, so let's do this.
Fuck you, Tube.
Oh god, the algorithm's gonna hate us. And then those cards are kind of attached to this as materials.
Yeah.
And the Xyz monsters can get their abilities based on removing materials.
Okay.
And then once all their materials are gone, they just become usually big beat sticks. They don't really do anything else.
Okay, you said it, not me.
That is an old term. It applies to both Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! It's been around, like your mom.
If you've been around my mother, that means you had a shovel. She's been gone for a while. Get to digging.
You don't know what I do on my Tuesdays.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
So we're back to this thing again. Remember the pendulums?
Yeah, the thing that looks like Magic Cabra.
Yeah.
Magic Calibra. Wiz Khalifa.
So if you notice, they have these little arrows. Okay? A blue one and a red one. Those are the pendulum scale. And so in your spell and trap card zone, there's a blue and a red one. And those numbers vary. So you can place them in those specific zones and create a pendulum scale. And once per turn, you can declare that you're doing a pendulum summon. And then from your hand and the face-up part of your extra deck, because when pendulums are destroyed on the field, instead of going to the graveyard, they go to the extra deck and stay face-up.
So, if I were to draw a parallel to Magic the Gathering, kind of like they're doing with the fairy tale cards right now, where you play it and then you can play it again as a different ability.
That's really good. I hadn't thought of that. Kind of. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Good job. Good job. I hadn't even made that connection. I'm proud of you.
I'm making lots of connections.
I don't want to know what you do on your Tuesdays. So...
Xyz, that's what I do on Tuesdays.
When you declare your pendulum summon, let's say you have a scale of 1 and 5. That means any monsters in your hands that are in your hand that is 2, 3, or 4, levels 2, 3, or 4, and then also face up from the extra deck, you can then special summon to the field. So then, if you have 5 cards that fit that, 5 monsters.
Are there any counter spells in this, or is everyone just dropping deuces on your face all the time?
That second one.
Okay.
I mean, you have counter traps, but
for the most part, it's just deal with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how this game is played. I made my board do something about it.
Meanwhile, in Magic, I countered 4 of your cards go to the graveyard. I countered another 8 of your cards go to the graveyard. You haven't gotten to play anything yet. This game is incredibly boring now.
Can you guess who got salted out to mill?
I will find you, and I will make you little blue cocksuckers pay. I will find you. With your faggy little blue decks. Nope. Oh no. I'm going to burn your freaking houses down. You mill me? No, man. No Meek Mills up in this bitch. But that's another story for another time.
Meanwhile, I'm over here with like 4 mill decks built on Arena.
Fucking scum.
Yeah. Also, that is...
Hashtag me too.
So, also, mill is an alternate win condition in Yu-Gi-Oh! 2. There hasn't been a good mill deck in years. But there was one called Empty Jar one time that was amazing.
Hey, you, go empty my jar out. That's all I know about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is he goes through puberty because of Exodia for some reason, and Joey is just the same as Joey from Friends.
Oh, God. He's right.
That's all the character was. I've only seen like 5 episodes, and every episode was just this horrible New York accent. And him just going, hey, yo, oh. And I'm like, wow, this is Friends. Like, I grant you, there's probably not a Japanese guy doing these voices, but still.
Well, yeah, it's complicated. The 4Kids dub was terrible. Everyone hates it. The censorship was insane. Let's get rid of all the pentagrams. Get rid of all the horns. They can't. Let's take away a lot of the cleavage, the partial nudity. Let's get rid of all that so we can market this to children in America. Meanwhile, this is still marketed to children in Japan. They're just not bitches.
Mm. They're also not fucking. There's not going to be Japanese people in 20 years.
I mean, that there will still be, but they just need to, keep the population in check. They are on a fucking tiny island.
That's what I'm saying. We go over there, man. We'll just run roughshod on those people.
Oh, God. That's another topic for another day. We have one more card type to talk about. This is the newest one. These are called links.
Okay.
Links don't have defense. They cannot go into defense mode. They can only attack. And they have a link rating. The link rating determines the number of creatures that you must tribute from your side of the field to bring them out. And then they might have more limiting text other than that. So this is a link 1, but the highest I think anyone's ever seen is a link 5, and that was a world prize card. And so you can see they have arrows. The higher the link rating, the more arrows they have. They're actually lined up. So this is a link 1. It has 1 arrow pointing down. And so remember the board I kind of had you visualize in your head? So above that, in the center for both players, there's 2 things called extra monster zones. And that is where you can special summon the monsters from the extra deck. However, with the links, if they have an arrow pointing into one of your zones, that zone is now a linked zone, meaning you can special summon more monsters from the extra deck. And so then you could make another link with maybe sideways arrows that gives you more zones.
So what you're saying is I should play this game with a bunch of hot Asian chicks and a lot of link cards pointing in all directions. I want them to enter my zone.
I mean, for you, I already have the perfect deck. It's called Sky Striker.
Okay.
It's a lolly that transforms with mech suits.
Alright, I want to go to jail now. Jesus. Start off with lolly. Good God.
That's 50% of Yu-Gi-Oh!
And you were worried about what I was saying earlier. Jeez. They're going to censor me for a week. They're going to arrest you for a year.
I'm just stating that's what the game is. I'm not endorsing it. The original Yu-Gi-Oh! Was great. It was warriors and spellcasters and dragons fighting. And now it's just lollies and spam tactics.
The hell do they do? Put kids' panties in every pack?
No, not that bad.
This is Japan, after all.
I mean, maybe in those ones, but in America, we don't get anything fun like that.
We can't even get Kinder toys until last year because they were afraid kids would choke on the toy.
Oh, no. The Kinder eggs we have in America aren't the normal ones.
Oh, God.
They're two separate packagings. The toy is in one package, and then the chocolate is melted down and just in.
You should be embarrassed, Mommy, that little Dieter in Germany can eat his toy and candy and be able to spit the toy out. Your little Billy's choking on it. You fucked up.
But then you also got to consider like how quickly an American person would sue. Like they'd intentionally eat the whole egg. Chunk.
Okay, Karen. Fuck.
So, you know, one way or the other. I don't think they should be outlawed, but, you know. It's probably better for the Kinder Company that way. They're not just getting peppered with lawsuits like it's Shotgun Blasts.
Anyways, continue on with the trap wonderful world of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, no, there's probably traps in this game too. Okay. And I'm not talking the trap cards.
I see what you did there. Okay.
Because, you know, it can't be a Japanese card game without dudes that look like women and women that look like dudes.
Exploding panties! 5 HP to surprise! Ha-ha! Ah!
I'm looking at you, Sheik and Zelda.
Oh my lord.
Can somebody in the comments, by the way, explain how Zelda, who is, you know, all princessy, can transform into Sheik, which is fine. Women can be great ninjas. But why does her obvious tits turn into pecs? Please. Explain. I don't understand.
You know what? Let's not move to Japan. That could go real bad real fast.
I mean, I don't care. Whatever.
Hi, Jesse. You just hit my trap card. Wild expansion.
I think you're thinking of wilderness reclamation.
I'll give you a reclamation.
Anyhow, so yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has phases, just like Magic. They're actually almost exactly the same.
No sack tap?
No, that's not even a phase.
It is when you get sack tapped and you're on the ground crying. That's a phase. Went from sack to tap to you on the ground crying. That was definitely a phase. It took a few minutes.
I think that happens in the upkeep.
No, upkeep is having a cup.
So, anyhow, they start with their draw phase. So, draw.
Okay.
Standby, which is their upkeep.
Okay.
Main phase 1.
Gotcha. Same as Magic.
Battle phase.
Okay, so far so good.
Main phase 2.
All right.
End phase.
Oh, well, I wonder where we got that from. I in no way have taken from Magic Gathering. Is that a Black Lotus behind you? No, no. That is Ebony Flower.
Well, there's no mana in this game, so we never needed that.
Ah, I win. Lawsuit me. You 0.
So yeah, the goal, just like Magic, deplete your opponent's life total or establish one of the alternate win cons, either decking your opponent or there is the Exodia. If you get all
Exodia!
Oh god, it hurts so bad. And there are several other alternate win cons. Magic actually has a ton of them too.
Yeah.
Battle of Wits, Happily Ever After, Hedron Alignment.
But you know what they don't have?
If you say Exodia, I'm a cold cock you right now.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
I am Zen. I am Zen. Okay.
Is that a card?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not a card in anything that I know.
Okay.
Anyhow.
Okay.
The game. The game is actually almost as old as Magic the Gathering.
Yes, it came out only like 2 or 3 years later, right?
The original Japan Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga series came out in 1995.
Okay.
You can still see copyright 1995 Kazuki Takahashi on a lot of.
So 3 years later.
Yeah. 2 actually, because the first alpha was 93. So that means he was on board with Magic the Gathering pretty quickly. And of course, Pokemon came out at the same time, around the same time as well.
That's another conversation for another time.
Yes.
But I happen to know that Chum Lee from Pawn Stars is an avid Pokemon player.
At some point, we'll have to get him on the show.
I know where to find him too.
Okay, so we might make that happen. But
I'll be looking for you, Austin.
So Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, has a very long history. It's almost 25 years old now. Magic, I think, is turning 27. So yeah, we'll put Yu-Gi-Oh right around 25. They actually started just doing the 25th anniversary products in Japan.
So that means Yu-Gi-Oh can go to Hertz Rent-A-Car and take something off the lot?
Yeah, it can go to Hertz Rent-A-Car, it can go to the bar, get drunk, and then it can wreck that Rent-A-Car and kill a family of 5.
Good God, man. Wow.
You can't have all the darkness. I gotta have some.
Oh my God, that got darker than apartheid in South Africa.
Oh God, yeah.
And we're back, baby! Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh God. So yeah, those are all the card types. And the game is just you draw your opening hand of 5 out of a 40 card deck. There's no mulligans. You're just stuck with that.
Oh.
So build your deck really well.
No man is screwed.
You're never mana screwed. You might just brick. You might just go, oh, my combo isn't here.
Hey, you, my combo's not here. So frickin' Sedekaiba's gonna rape my sister.
Whoa.
Wasn't that an episode or something?
No.
Oh.
No, Serenity was like going blind and Joey needed to win the prize money to pay for her operation. And then after her operation, she started dating Joey's best friend, Tristan.
God. This almost seems like some sort of Karate Kid thing. Like, who's playing card games to, like, pay for, like, eye surgery? Like, what's going on in this country? It's like, yo, I could get a job.
I mean, we can go forward. Like, the series after that was Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And,
was that the one with the, like, the bikes and everything?
No. We'll get to that. That's 5Ds. GX was, took place at a school for this game. It was like,
So we've kind of broken the fourth wall. That was the whole point of Yu-Gi-Oh! You're breaking the fourth wall because the card game is being played by the guys within the game and blah, blah, blah.
Well, so, they, Seto Kaiba from the original series was the founder of the school, of Duel Academy. And so GX follows a new protagonist, Jaden and all of his friends, and they go and they do their thing, and he saves the world through...
What is Yu-Gi-Oh! Doing by this point?
At this point, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series is wrapped. Yugi himself actually cameos at the end of GX and duels against Jaden, and then the very end of the duel, the episode cuts off, and you're left to decide, who won. The King of Games versus the new guy. As you can tell, I refer to him as the new guy because I was not a fan of Jaden. I never really cared for him.
And then I saw one where it was all bikes and everything.
And that was Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and that was so fucking good. It sounds like the dumbest idea, but the story was amazing.
Really? I thought that was them milking the franchise dry.
No. That was several things later. 5Ds was actually a good series. It went back because the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Was actually very dark and very gritty. You go back to what is referred to as Season 0 in the States because they couldn't even import it from Japan because it would have to have been so heavily censored that they are just like, it's not worth it.
What was like Saw? If you lose this match, I'll cut off your left arm.
Basically.
Oh God. Again, No more Japan. No more Japan.
One of my favorite games that takes place in the first one, because the original series was just about gaming in general. And so the Pharaoh would use these games to get people out of situations. He was kind of like a vigilante with these. One of my favorite ones was a escaped convict comes into the restaurant that they find out Taya is working in. So Yugi, Joey, and Taya are all there, and they end up in this hostage situation. And remember, this is set in Japan. Japan has very limited firearm laws, and the guy has a gun. So
that would be a big deal there.
So he's taken the entire restaurant hostage, and he asks for Taya. He's like, "Hey, bring me food and alcohol. I want to enjoy my time." And so she brings over the food, and as she brings over the food, Yugi sits down across from him, and he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he's like, "All right, you got us all here. You have the gun. You're in control. Let's play a game to pass the time." And then the Pharaoh takes over, and they play a really cool shadow game where the rules of the game is they can each pick one finger, and they can only use that finger during the game. And so the guy obviously picks his index finger so he can pull the trigger of the gun. But he'd also gotten a pack of cigarettes as well. And so Yugi's like, "I'm going to pick my thumb. Okay? So I can strike the lighter." And during the time of explaining the rules of the game and everything, the guy's pouring a glass of vodka. So then Yugi lights the lighter to light a cigarette, and he goes, "Oh, that's awfully nice of you right before you die," and then places the lit Zippo on the back of the guy's hand while he's pouring the alcohol. And then the glass overflows onto his lap.
Oh my lord.
So then if he pulls the trigger, he will kill Yugi, but it's going to knock the lighter off and light the alcohol. So then, or he can just sit there and not move. Which, of course, if you've ever held anything in tension weights like this over a period of time, just proceedingly gets heavier and heavier.
And there was a lighter over here.
And there's a lighter balancing on the back of his hand, and then alcohol is poured over into his lap off the table. So then Yugi gets Taya away from him, and the guy proceeds to...
Here's the answer to that. I know. I can only move forward and put lighter in burning lap. No, just...
So, obviously the lighter ends up falling, and the guy gets completely engulfed in flames, and nobody bothers to put him out.
Alright. Forget Japan. I want the cuteness without the headache. We're doing Thailand. Thailand.
Vietnam.
Same difference.
I like their food more. They were occupied by France.
I'm not looking to eat their food. That wasn't the kind of eating I was talking about.
So dicks, got it. I gotta get you back. Like, it's only fair. And it's not even fair yet.
What's not fair? What have I done? I can't think of anything. Exodia! I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel like you're turning into Trump at this point. What have I done? What have I done?
Yu-Gi-Oh's so good! So many Nobody does Exodia better than Donald Trump. Believe me. Believe me. Pocahontas can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like Donald J. Trump. Believe me. I've been told Bernie doesn't know how to play. I've been told.
So as this episode continues to spiral...
Bigly. Exotic.
Oh, Christ. So anyhow, back to 5Ds. They re-embrace that darkness.
Okay.
But they play Yu-Gi-Oh! On motorcycles.
Yeah, I saw that, and I didn't understand what the hell was going on. I was like...
So, as you take damage, your bike slows down.
Oh.
And it's also a race.
Why not? That's what I want to do when I've got a machine that's deadly and can tip over. Let me go get a painter's palette of cards like I'm Bob Ross on a freaking Ducati and play a fucking game. That's brilliant.
Well, and the best part is they actually kind of address that going into season 2. Yusei, the main character, crashes his dual runner in a game against one of the Dark Signers, which this is the big villain of the series, and is thrown off of his bike and impaled. And then they take a lighter, and after pouring vodka on his head, they balance a lighter and tell him to crawl to safety. But it doesn't work, and he burns to death. Ah ha ha! Ah ha ha! Ah ha ha! I wonder why this doesn't get played in the United States ever. Jesus Christ! Oh, it wasn't that bad, but they did censor out like all the blood and the impaling. They just were like, "Oh, he bruised his ribs."
Bruised his ribs. Bruised his ribs! His gut shot out of his asshole when he went into the fucking divider at 90 miles per hour, holding a deck of cards like a retard. Let me fucking play Magic the Gathering on a fucking Harley. I cast his fucking mouth. I cast his Lord of the Pit.
No. That's the next one. Magic the Gathering on hoverboards. Oh, no, I know what the kids love. Magic the Gathering on Razor scooters.
Hey, yo, you.
And you can disrupt your opponent by doing the little fucking kick spin of the back of the Razor, and you just smack them in the shins with it.
So fucking stupid. So fucking stupid.
And then after that, they did another lighthearted series. After that was the one where
what is it? Assisted living Yu-Gi-Oh, where they all just No.
They ironically never bring back the original characters after season 2 because it gets to a point where it's like 120 years in the future.
Hey, you. Let's see if you can wheel your butt next to mine and we'll play cards. Sure. Exode. Joey! So much winning! So much winning!
Oh god. He's like a possessed speak and spell. You never know where it's going. It does its thing.
So much winning. 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 EXOD.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Continue.
So then after that there was Arc no, that wasn't. That's the current one. That was
So a lot of people getting on dangerous vehicles, not paying attention to the road.
And then there was Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal or Zexal, depending on how you read the pronunciation. In America, it was like Zexal. In Japan, it was like, no, we call it Zeal. It was Zexal.
Okay.
So, yeah, there was that, and that's where Pendulums came in. And this guy, we kind of harkened back to the first season where instead of the Pharaoh, the main character had this spirit who was trying to reclaim his memories, and they didn't know who he was or where he was from, and so he helped, but only he could see him. So he helped him with duels, because the kid wasn't good.
Sounds like Ash Ketchum.
Kinda, yeah. I'll give you Ash vibes on what.
I became a Pokemon master in like 1 hour, but that idiot took 20+ years.
He's not even a master. It's just his first championship.
It's just And he looks bizarre by this point. They forgot how to draw him. It's been so many years.
I like the revamp of the art style.
Oh, he looks ridiculous. They just...
It kind of reminds me, like...
His face looks like 6'9" all of a sudden.
No. I think it's very much more reminiscent of, like, Astro Boy's art style and, like, some of the older anime stuff. So that's kind of like
hey,
what I
Brock,
like.
I finally won a league, and now I'm going to let all my Pokemon go, because that's what I do, and I'll see them.
Yeah, every new world he has to start fresh other than Pikachu.
Hold up, I had a fire-breathing dragon, let him go and get some dragon ass. And I had a butterfly that can knock people out. But yeah, a fire-breathing dragon and a butterfly that can put anything to sleep. Why would I need those? Oh man, I am so good at this.
Yeah, and then the series of Yu-Gi-Oh! After that was weird because it was entertainment dueling, and it was like it took place in a stadium, and they had to run all over the stadium and get these special cards that did special things, and there was like parkour involved. And it was weird.
Sounds like millennial Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh no. This is like Gen Z. Like it was more like Fortnite.
Oh God. Fuck, I hate Fortnite.
But it was before Fortnite, so I think Fortnite took advantage of this. This is where they got their idea from. It wasn't from Battle Royale, the original idea.
Fortnite is let me build a FEMA house in the middle of a gun duel. Jesus Christ, do I hate Fortnite. That is the most retarded fucking game ever.
The algorithm's really gonna hate us unless we praise Minecraft.
You know,
I like Minecraft. It's a lot of fun. It's like Legos, but digital, so I don't have to clean it up.
It's called SimCity, bitches. Gen X, motherfucker.
SimCity 3000 was an amazing game.
Hello! SimCity 2000 had a military base, and you could get Simcopter, fly your Simcopter, or walk into the military base, take an Apache, and shoot up your nuclear power plant and incinerate your whole damn city. Simcopter was amazing. You get SimCity 2000, you get a military base, they will protest, and then you get Simcopter and you kill everyone in a nuclear freaking holocaust.
Well, if that's the way you like to play these sim games, you should probably try out the Tropico series. Think SimCity, but from a tropical island, and you run a brutal dictatorship. You can start all the way with colonial and work your way all the way up to modern day.
Considering what I would want to do, I can't imagine ever needing to go beyond colonial. Is there dysentery on this island? No, then bring me the wenches. Have them stripped and bathed immediately. I should see no reason why we should advance our technological experiences, as long as these women are in the nude. Now bathe them and bring them to me.
That's the English appropriate colonialism. The French one is very similar, but after you bathe the women, you also lather them in butter, I think.
Oui, monsieur, je m'appelle Robert. And these women, they are nice, but how you say, I prefer them in the butter. Now butter them and then bring them to me. Merci.
And then, of course, the Spanish one would just be olive oil.
Ah, me encanta mujeres en olive oil, ¿no? No, muy rico. Estoy muy guapo. Es muy guapo.
Jesus Christ. Wasn't expecting you to be able to do all of these.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
No, we don't talk about German colonialism.
Kristallnacht!
It's a little too similar.
That!
To certain events.
Backhand!
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna end it on there before I go through every language that exists.
Oh god,
And the
I'm waiting.
different
I'm waiting for you to run out of them and hit obscure ones like Swahili or some shit.
Damn. Let's see. French, German, Spanish, Portuguese.
Sir, it's pronounced Portuguese.
Você fala português também?
It's just fancy Spanish.
Basically. I can greet people in Japanese. Yeah, no.
Yeah, we know. We got that at the beginning of the fucking show.
Arigato! Komaimasen! Wakarimashita!
Oh, Christ. What even is this video at this point?
Dankeschön. We'll see you next week.
Let's do a proper close.
Yes. From all of us here at Comics The Gathering, I am Robert.
I'm Jesse. Thank you for watching. If you like this hot mess, subscribe, like the video, comment below. Oh, we have our winner, by the way, from last week's contest. I wanted to bring that up. I will be contacting you via Facebook. I don't have my phone, so I don't have the name pulled up. But
we will tag it on the end somehow.
We'll tag it on the end. I'm going to reach out to you and via email, and I'll send you a message.
And we'll splatter your face on social media if you'd like. In the meantime, Auf Wiedersehen.
Have a lovely evening. We'll see you guys next week.